Good morning, guys. So I am a teensy bit worried about this summer weather we've been having and all of the heat. Because if you see this 10-day forecast, we are almost halfway into August and still in the above 100s. And I've looked at the history of this area because I don't obviously write down my monthly or daily weather patterns every year, which I'm starting to think I should. But we're definitely usually into the 90s in August. And the fact that I'm supposed to be transplanting out these seedlings at the end of August, I can't do that to a bunch of brassicas in 100 degrees. And I don't really have the space to keep potting them all up until it finally cools down. Not to mention, I still have to start the rest of my cold weather crops sometime at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. So I'm a little worried. I don't know what's gonna happen. But today, we're gonna be harvesting some peppers. Hello, guy. What are you doing? Toady? Why didn't you eat all my squash bugs? I'm glad I found him again. I used to see him every day and I would move him to the squash bed so that he would eat squash bugs, and then he disappeared for like a week and a half, so I thought some skunk or cat had run off with him. Yay. So this one tomato plant, the estiva that got sick, that was trellised via this string, I ended up pulling out. The tomatoes weren't getting any bigger and he just looked absolutely dead. And this German pink tomato is looking definitely worse for wear. Of course, I thought they'd get a little bit better with the monsoon rains, but we haven't had any. So it's nice. It's cloudy this morning. It's beautiful. And there was like a 20% chance last night, but all it did was blow dust and we got no moisture. But I'm grateful for the cloud cover this morning because that gives me a little bit more time to work out here without sweating my pants off. It is a pretty gorgeous morning. So if you're new to the homesteading world, there are a lot of channels that do challenges and stuff for different months, like Fermented February, which I think the Fermented Homestead puts on that one. In August, Three Rivers Homestead does the Every Bit Counts challenge, which is basically doing one small thing or a lot of things every day if you can to preserve some food. My pepper harvest today is going to be part of that. I haven't been harvesting peppers like quite daily. So that I can let them all ripen and then harvest a bunch at once to take inside and freeze and dehydrate. And that's going to be in a secondary video. I've already started recording some footage from that so that I can have enough to put in one long video. But today we're just going to be pulling up a bunch of peppers, and then in the next video I will show you what I'm doing to preserve them. Now with a lot of these peppers, I don't know the variety. It's only with the red chili and the green chili that I get mixed up because I lost my tags. But most of the other ones I know what they are. I have padrones, banana peppers, other things like that. The banana peppers, I'm probably only going to be harvesting red ones and super yellow ones. I leave the green ones on to ripen, and they don't taste bad necessarily when they're green, but they're not as rich in flavor. They're just sort of sour, maybe even a little bit bitter. And I've told you guys before, I do love to use clippers when I'm pulling peppers, just because I tend to pull off multiple leaves and stems when I try and just yank a pepper from the plant. So this and tomatoes, peppers and tomatoes are one of the few things I will just use my clippers for. So this is a pretty cool pepper. This is one of the seedlings that I bought from the NMSU plant sale, and it is called a roulette habanero. So There is apparently a 50-50 chance that when you bite into one of these peppers, it will be hot. There's no way to tell until you actually eat it. I have picked one. They were a bit slow to ripen, and I bought the plant start later than I started my other peppers. So there was one that we ate in our breakfast one morning, and it wasn't hot. It just tasted like a regular bell pepper. And these will ripen inside. So yeah, they're a little green on the bottom. But I do hope to harvest as much as I can today, so I'm just gonna pull all the ones that are even almost ripe, and it'll only be a couple days before they're fully red inside. And no, I'm not going to bite it on camera because these habaneros are so hot, and I would have to take like 20-minute break just to cool my mouth up. So this plant was either a green chili or a red chili, and I have tried it multiple times green, and it wasn't hot. So I am assuming it is a red chili, and that's why I'm letting all of these guys ripen to red. So I won't be picking any of these. I dehydrate them regardless because red chili is used reconstituted. So a couple of these might be ready, but it doesn't hurt to leave them on the plant. They'll just start drying on the plant and do half my job for me. So this is an interesting find that I've had this year. This is the Pimienta de Padrón pepper, and I'll put a picture of what it's supposed to look like up on the screen. It was one of my saved seeds from last year, and with the shape and size of these guys, especially this pointy bottom right here, it absolutely cross-pollinated last year. They are still hot like they're supposed to be, but they're just so triangle shaped and weird, and I don't know what they could have cross-pollinated with. Maybe a Bikino pepper because it's got like a teardrop shape, or maybe one of my mini chocolate bell peppers because they're so small. I mean, these are supposed to be like 2 to 3 times larger than this, and they're round on the bottom. I think it's so fascinating. Hybridization is so fascinating to me. But yeah, this was a saved seed from last year of a pepper. It did retain its heat, which is good. Fun fact, heat in peppers is a dominant trait. So most likely if you have a sweet pepper that crosses with some sort of hot pepper, it's going to have the hot flavor next year, whether or not it looks different, because heat is actually the dominant trait. These little Thai hot peppers are one pepper that I will not use my snipper for, just because they're so small and there's a million of them at a time. So what I'll just do is snap it off so it comes off without the stem. I'm going to dehydrate all of these anyways. I don't really use them for fresh eating. So it just makes it easier, because if I took off the stem with these, I'd have to take them inside and then take off the stem there. So for the Thai pepper, I do not use clippers. I'll just snap them off. This is a jalafuego, a hotter jalapeno. I have 2 other plants in the other bed that's doing way better than this one. But these are still putting off a few fruits, as tiny as they may be. And these are my first bell peppers of the year. How cute! It's a little disappointing that they are in this poorly fertilized garden bed here, but I have 2 of them. I'm gonna wait, see if they get a little bit bigger before I harvest. And I saved the best for last, which is the Sugar Rush peach pepper. So I already did a huge harvest of Sugar Rush peaches earlier in the week, and I think I threw a couple padrones in there as well, but I'm making a ferment like I had wanted to do from the beginning of the year, was make a ferment solely out of Sugar Rush peach so I could see how that salsa tastes. And that should be, it might be up on the next video, maybe not, but I will definitely make that salsa and let you guys know how it turns out. I also dehydrated a bunch of them. It was a pretty large harvest. So I'm excited to see how they turn out reconstituted. If I can make some sort of thin sauce out of the reconstituted Sugar Rush peaches. Or a glaze. Oh, I didn't even think about that till now. That's a good little haul. I got quite a few Sugar Rush peaches and then picked a few Estiva tomatoes from that one. I've also got 2 pepper plants over here. This is the New Mexico Big Jim. They can get a little bit bigger than this, and there's only a few on this plant. I'm not going to harvest it today. And this is the Bikino pepper, which is not right. There's some little guys. These are just a tiny little spice pepper. So they will turn yellow and orange when they're fully ripe, but I don't, oh wait, was that one right there? They are. It is. Come here, little guy. This is the first Bikino pepper of the year. These have such an interesting flavor. It's like tart, a little bit sweet. They're so fascinating. I only grew one because they're so small. I would have to, they're like the Thai peppers. I would have to just like take off, de-stem them and do a million of them to make one thing, but they're fun to snack on. All right, well, I'm gonna take this harvest inside and figure out what I'm doing with all of these peppers, and I will catch you guys on the next one.